Hey guys, it's Pierre with Overview Property Inspection. Today actually I'm spending some time at my own house finishing off a deck project that I started a long time ago. The deck is actually built. However, you'll notice that the siding, I've ripped off some siding to accommodate some of the foundation insulation. So I've got plans in the future to remove all the doors and windows and add a ton of exterior insulation on my house. So what I need to accomplish is I need to put some cladding back on that is economical, and because it's going to be temporary, I don't want to spend too much time on it, but I still want to make sure that the details are correctly done so that water is diverted off my home so I don't get water coming in. And these are things that I often don't see on new construction, frankly, and this is what I want to show to you guys. Okay, so whenever we are changing materials or changing direction in siding, we always want to make sure that, see this black trim above me, that's a drip edge or drip cap. What it does is it helps to divert the water off the wall. And so just grab a scrap piece of siding for you guys so you can see it. So this is a drip cap, okay? And so essentially what happens is as the bulk water comes down the wall, it will shed to the face and then go down, okay? And so if you look underneath here, I've got a J-trim. This J-trim is actually going to accept the new siding. It's not this piece, obviously, but it'll look like this, okay? Now, a couple details that you don't see or are sometimes missed with new builds is, actually, this is a good one. Whenever you have a J-trim along the bottom of the wall, what happens is as the water comes down the bottom of the wall, J-trim actually looks like, if I can find a scrap piece, J-trim is essentially a trough, okay? And it can't drain. So what an old school carpenter from Ontario taught me when I was doing construction, I'm actually a carpenter by trade as well. And so he actually taught me drill holes on the bottom of your J so that if you do get incidental water, it can drain out, hopefully, through a few different locations rather than like having a high concentration of water at this spot, okay? Because water will collect at the bottom of the J, I'm telling you. And a lot of times you get debris collecting them and then it doesn't drain out properly. And if you have, let's say, a WRB or a house wrap that is not present, and yes, I've seen it lots behind ledgers, above decks, and or if it's not lapped properly in a shingled manner, okay, you always got to make sure that the water is not able to get behind the WRB, okay? So if it is able to, you're not effectively managing bulk water, okay? Water with our houses is it's the biggest enemy. And so I was actually reminiscing, and actually the guy's name that gave me this tip was Casey Van Bakel. I think he's 40 or 50 years as a carpenter, but anyways, kind of cool things that you can learn from, guys that are willing to share knowledge. And so if you are going to do this, or if you're having siding installed on your house, you want to make sure that you have your flashing above your decking, and then you want to make sure that your house wrap is actually overlapping. And then if you are going to put a J like this, just put a pencil down and that will be your clearance. That's all you need. You need just a little bit of water. You just need a little bit of gap in between the two, because if you don't, there's capillary action and water will it could stick there. You want to make sure it's able to drain freely, okay? Now, here's a couple of things that I think is worth mentioning to you guys. I've got underneath my deck, it's a freestanding deck, okay? And I've got a modified Larson truss that's been started on my house. So essentially what that means is I've started to dig the foundation out and I've got foam on the outside of my house, okay? And so in the future, when I'm actually ready to complete my net zero project, all I gotta do is take this deck, it's not actually a deck board, it's actually a fascia board, okay? And that fascia board just comes off and then I'll be able to extend my insulation. So the plan is for 8 inches of insulation on the outside if I ever get around to that project. Time, money, and spousal support is always something to factor, but anyways, if you are having a property inspection conducted, ask your home inspector, what type of experience do they have actually building? Are they current with, the new standards? As you can see, I'm still building. This is something I'd still be doing, but inspection just makes more sense for me right now and my family. So if you need a property inspection, I would look forward to helping you guys. Reach out to Overview Property Inspection. Talk to you guys soon.